Jack and Janet met in 1967 and were married the following year. Jack would serve in the Navy, later becoming a neuropsychiatric technician. Together they would have 4 daughters, Dawn, Heather, and a set of twins, Sharon and Karen. The house they would move into was right next to Jack's parents. Everything seemed normal at first, but soon after Hurricane Agnes hit and flooded their home in 1972, the paranormal events began. The Smurls spent what they had remodeling and redecorating the house. The first recorded haunting was in January 1974, when a stain appeared on the new carpet and was hard to remove. This continued when the TV erupted into flames. Pipes were being replaced when an unexplained leak continued occurring. Janet said she was picked off the ground by an unseen force, hoisted 6 feet in the air, and thrown across the room. Jack claimed he was raped by a succubus in the living room while watching a baseball game on TV. Their oldest daughter, Dawn, would tell her parents she saw people floating in her room. 3 years later, the events would continue getting worse. Unplugged radios would blast loud music. Drawers would open and close when no one was around. Cold spots could be felt around the house, and there were unexplained footsteps that could be heard. Neighbors, as well as Jack's parents, said that they could hear shouting and other loud noises coming from the house. However, Jack and Janet would claim they hadn't shouted at these times, nor caused any kind of ruckus. The Smurls would contact Ed and Lorraine Warren in January 1986. Upon entering the house, they began investigating. They discovered 4 spirits there: a peaceful elderly woman, a young girl, a man that died in the house, and a very powerful and angry demonic presence that used the other spirits to get rid of the Smurl family. While there, the Warrens experienced furniture shaking and watched as mirrors rattled on the wall. To convince the demon to leave, they prayed and played religious music. The temperature would drop and a dark mass appeared in the house. The demon wrote, "You filthy bastard, get out of this house," on a mirror. There were also numerous audio tapes recorded during the Warrens' investigation of the house. The tapes were recordings of knocking and rapping sounds done by the demon. Ed Warren said the following in a news article.
The Smurls are truly a family coming under a visual attack. The ghost, devil, demon, whatever you want to call it, is in that home.
This would be confirmed by Helly Starr when she stated,
Janet said she had been sexually assaulted by the shadows she had seen. One of the twins, Karen, suddenly fell ill and nearly died from this inexplicable infection. And Dawn, the second twin, she was also sexually assaulted by the entity. Janet and her mother-in-law had traces of beatings and bites all over their bodies.
Ed Warren enlisted the help of Father McKenna, a Vatican-mandated exorcist. He came to exorcise the house, but his first attempt failed and only made the demon angrier. It was during this Ed was strangled by something and would take a few days to recover. 3 months later, Father McKenna would try again, but it still wouldn't work. Soon the media who got wind of the story frequently visited the property. The Smurls contacted Mary Alice Rinkman, who explored the house and confirmed the Warrens were right about the spirits. Jack and Janet would come out on the front porch and tell the reporters that they and the neighbors were tired of being harassed. By the third exorcism, several priests with a collection of parishioners from the local church were trying to rid the house of the spirits. At first it seemed to work, but after a couple months the activity continued. There would be a 4th exorcism, but by then the Smurls finally had enough and moved out. A couple months after leaving the house, Robert Curran, with the Smurls and Warren's help, would write The Haunted, a book about their experience in the house. In 1991, The Haunted rights were purchased by 20th Century Fox and released as a made-for-TV movie. Professor Paul Kurtz of State University of New York at Buffalo, and former chairman of the Committee for Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, would say that the Smurls' claims were a sham and the Warrens' investigation wasn't properly executed. He would go on to say that what was witnessed was nothing more than the result of a mass hallucination or delusion. Psychologist Robert Gordon commented,
People often look at demonology to explain the many tensions that they experience as individuals and within their families.
but when questioned by the Warrens, they would deny any tension with the kids or each other. Jack Smurl would pass away in June 2017 of complications due to diabetes. Even some priests that came to bless the Smurl house didn't see any activity while they were there. Rumors started going around that the hauntings were fake when Ed Warren called Robert Kern about writing a book based on the events. There was also rumors that the family fell on hard times and were trying to make money from the haunting because they were in financial trouble. So what did happen to the Smurl family in their house? Were the experiences legitimate or a fantastic tale to make money? After all, it was noted that the family was going through hard times. But then how do you explain what the Warrens described? Were they in on it as well? We may never know the truth, but you can't deny it is an interesting tale for sure. Real or fake. I want to give a special heartfelt thanks to those who have watched this season finale, as well as my other videos. It really means a lot to me, and I hope you will join me for next season too. Until then, I'm Creepy the Cryptid, and I hope you will join me next time for another episode. And remember to look around the corner, because you never know what's lurking in the shadows.